One of this year's Standard Bank Young Artist Awards winners is the talented choreographer Bailey Snyman. Hailing from Kimberley, Bailey studied his master's in choreography and contemporary dance at Rhodes University.
I trained in dance, but I think I've always been more of a theatre maker. So, it's like I said to a few people last year, I do consider myself to be more of a choreographer than an actual dance performer. I mean, I love dancing and I love performing dance, but I think because of my academic background and because of my creative impulse that I tend to make work more easily than perform work. But I've been doing it for so long. I mean, it's been a good 14 years now that I've been dancing and choreographing in my own works and playing both roles.
Bailey began his career at the First Physical Theatre Company and then started the Matchbox Theatre Collective. He shares his secrets of choreographing his dances with us.
For me, I think the biggest thing is honesty. Because the kind of work that I tend to make really requires a lot from the performers themselves to really authentically try and bring themselves and their own experiences to the work. That the more honest I am about my experiences, the more readily they are going to open up and allow themselves into the work and the world. So yes, most people I've worked with, including my students, know a lot about my life, a lot about my personal life, personal experiences, because I think in order to really go into that visceral kind of space of storytelling and raw emotional spaces, if I'm going to put up veneers and walls for myself, how on earth can I expect somebody else to do that? So the process of choreographing, especially over the past 8 years, has actually changed me quite a lot. I mean, I think the process very often can kind of become a psychological experiment. I don't need a therapist, I've got the studio, because it really allows you to unpack things about yourself.
Bailey has an intense focus on sexuality and violence in his pieces. He tells us why.
I just think sexuality, and especially violence within sexuality, is such an incredibly interesting thing, because I think it probably stems from my studies in psychology as well, because those are such base drives for us. Violence and sexuality, it's need-driven, it's entirely about who we are, it drives how we think.
After winning the Young Artists Award, Bailey shed some light on his hopes for the future.
And the big dream for Nicola and I for Matchbox Theatre is to start a South African choreographic institute, to really train people in thinking about making work. And not necessarily only dance-based work, but any kind of body-based work. And I think that is vital, as I was saying earlier, that we've got all these fabulous performers, but not necessarily choreographers that can deal with them, or even challenge them. This kind of award really also shows me that I can actually be true to my artistic integrity and still achieve something without having to sell out. And I think at this point, I think absolutely anything is possible.
Bailey has 4 shows at this year's National Arts Festival. For beautifully choreographed plays that will challenge your perceptions, catch Bailey's contemporary dance pieces on both the Main and the Fringe this year.